find out. Speak. It doesn't pick that up.
Hello.
Yeah, we'll pick that up. Just speak at a decent.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Just speak at a decent volume. We'll fine. What was I doing? I was gonna check something. Whoops. What the
Isn't your
heck?
stream going right now?
It is.
Introduction.
Well, hey guys, welcome to another Ace Attorney stream. I don't hear any game volume, which is slightly concerning.
It says volume's working now.
Yeah, I know.
I hear it. Very, very slow.
Oh,
I
wait.
don't. Oh, I do hear. I do hear.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
There we go.
Alright, and the Avantef Guard and Point Nab are already here. By the way, I did lower my latency, so I will see these comments a lot faster.
The Cosmos content and Sundown content, all in the same stream.
Alright, so to recall what happened, basically we just defended defendants, and we successfully defended them in trial, even though they're probably guilty. And Matt and Nirvana have been on a honeymoon for 2 weeks.
I begin to think,
Oh, what's this first, I guess?
said Sholmes, turning his head languidly in my direction, that there is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed,
Is this a real
that there
quote?
may be another part to this
No,
story that
I
we
don't
are
think so.
yet to discover.
Maybe.
His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea
It could be like a quote from the
Leading him
Hound of the Baskervilles.
to the distant memory,
Because like the last case was named very similarly to that.
to the young lady collapsed on
Oh,
the
the Sherlock
pavement
Holmes
along
one, that's
Briar
probably
Road,
the main
and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set.
Brand new
And
Ivana
under the cover of a light
content.
fog, the curtain had risen silently on the
This is what we've
insoluble
been
mystery of
waiting
our
for.
invisible killer.
Alright.
Bro, he
So,
got
yeah.
my pinned comment on my video.
Yeah, I saw. Alright, once again, we're back here, it looks like.
Did you?
Did you sleep last night? Oh, right.
It's not picking you up.
Oh,
Here, let me scooch over.
it's okay.
Forward.
Did you sleep last night, Mr. Naruhodo?
You don't have to lean in like that, just
Well,
I
I just
should've
thought I wasn't
talked.
picking her up.
Louder.
make a decent voice.
Not
No, not at all!
It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it?
What? Where'd we get the money for this? Thought we didn't get any money.
I know we didn't.
The rooms were so
What?
luxurious. I felt like we were staying in a palace.
When did this happen? We were talking about sleeping in a park.
And with all the gas lights twinkling, it was brighter than day, even in the middle of the night.
What about the enormous beds? After my time on the SS Buria, I wasn't going to waste a single inch of that space. I spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other.
Oh yes, it really was the sort of night you could only dream of normally.
So we're dreaming.
Except when I learned that we owed £3 for the rooms, that dream quickly turned into a nightmare.
I see.
There we go.
Oops! Sorry about that. The building was so impressive and the entrance was so inviting. I just wandered in without thinking.
In a lodging house in Japan, that sum of money would put a roof over your head for a whole year. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill.
Man, we must be broke. Ugh, I really am sorry.
It's very relatable right now.
Well, never mind. Must find some more affordable lodging straight away, though. If we're not careful, our entire
Stipends.
stipend will be used up in 10 days or less.
Ugh, London is a scary place. Probably you.
Oh, good morning to you at this early hour. Oh, it's this dude.
Yeah.
He's a super low boy.
Oh, yes, we are, well?
Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. We've come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey.
Susato-san is amazing. She doesn't bat an eyelid, even in the presence of the imposing Lord Strongheart.
Yes, I believe you had a very comprehensive initiation into British courtroom practices.
Oh, yes, it was very eye-opening, thank you.
And in accordance with your instructions, Lord Strongheart, Mr. Naruhodo learned his duty to the end.
Yes, I've already been apprised of events. You conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed.
Oh,
No longer are you a student from the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer.
Just that
My
easy.
country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern land. My Nipponese friend. Oh, other dudes are.
Oh, thank you very much. So I'm a liar now.
Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. I'd like you to take it on at once. I trust that won't be a problem.
Will I be paid this time? Another case? Already?
Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience. I'm sure I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I?
It's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it.
What's to come to terms with? The man was cleared. What more were you hoping for?
Man, this man's evil.
He's just a lawyer.
This is old stuff.
She hasn't seen it. She hasn't seen it. Right here. She hasn't seen the evilness. Better do the voice. That's better than my laugh. I'm freaking Wario up in here.
I can't help but wondering if Mr. McGilded was really innocent. If Mr. McGilded really was innocent.
Mr. Naruhodo.
It's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. And then the trial ended.
Well, you needn't let it trouble you for a second longer.
Sorry?
What do you mean, Lord Stromberg?
Magnus McGill
Oh!
passed away
Oh.
immediately following the
This
trial.
was not what I expected after the cart burned. After the
Or maybe it was
omnibus
him
burned.
in the cart.
Him in the car?
Oh,
Oh.
shoot.
No!
What? Mr. McGilded is
Mate
dead?
Kusai! Mate!
I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. Time enough to talk.
Alright. Oh, this was not what I expected.
I'm shook. They threw us for a twist.
I don't understand. What happened? How can he be dead?
After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey. As you'll presumably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom.
No.
Yes, of course. That was the scene of the crime which Mr. McGilded had been accused of. Spicy.
Precisely. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames.
No.
How could such a thing have happened?
That is being investigated as we speak, but already the police have identified a corpse found inside the charred shell of the carriage as that of McGilded.
As they all watched the carriage burn to death.
I know, no one
and
opened it.
No,
I
and
know.
everyone just stood there and watched the carriage, you know. That's awful.
The man must have slipped inside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere.
That bailiff really needs to pay more attention.
And how could that have happened?
That is also being investigated as we speak.
We're back now, immediately after the trial. Mr. McGilda did mention going back into the courtroom to look at the omnibus.
He went back and looked at the omnibus,
Man.
basically.
I must go back. 'Tis time for Nature McPhee.
An inspection of the omnibus. Not to my knowledge, I don't believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage. But
But, then who was Mr. McGilda talking about?
never mind that now. The Yard is making a thorough investigation. This matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police.
It's a door handle.
Oh, he's the evil one now.
I
That's
said
a plunger,
he's
that's a
evil.
plunger to a toilet.
Nah, it's a door handle, you know? It's long enough.
Poor Mr. Ring.
He's gonna twist it off and then something's gonna pull out of it.
British.
So, how did you find your first taste of our country's supreme
I'm
call?
sorry, do I bore you,
Fire.
strong hearts? Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it was... Wow!
Stupid.
Mr. Naruhodo means that the whole experience was steeped in a solemnity
Solemnity? I don't know.
Solemnity.
of Great Britain's long history.
You know, I'm glad I have a translator here, you know?
Spicy indeed.
It's really a
point
world
out.
apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old.
Wow, Susato-san has such a way with words!
And you seem to have a way of failing to find the right ones.
The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can.
The most advanced in the world, is it?
It was fortunate that your very first trial was a simple affair.
Simple? That was simple?
As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose.
I don't mean to be contrary, Lord Strongheart, but the case was anything but simple.
The circumstances of the case were so incriminating, I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favorable verdict. Is something funny?
Oh no, my apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve. And that can only be attributed to exceptional talent. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, never mind. You exceeded my expectations, I freely admit. That much at least is an undeniable truth.
Why are you typing .wg in here?
This
It says
is
a
not-
gacha roller.
this is not a
Get
gacha
out of here,
roller.
Colton.
This gacha roller sucks. .wa. You're only getting the dude. Oh, sorry.
Which is precisely why I prepared the new case for you that I mentioned before.
What's going on? Yeah, come on, you're rolling Lord Strongheart. You're not gonna claim him?
Blame him.
What was he going to say before?
Could you perhaps give us some more details about the new case you mentioned?
Don't tell me. It's a murder, and the trial starts in 10 minutes!
Don't worry, it's nothing so alarming or quite so urgent as your last assignment. In fact, this case is completely different.
Oh, I see. Did he just read my mind?
I only claim waifus.
That is to say, no one has died as yet.
That's reassuring.
And the trial will not be today. There's plenty of time to research the case thoroughly.
Wow, the first time I finally get to research, find evidence on, case. Actually investigate.
23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise.
Wow, a whole day.
His hair's
Ah.
making a V.
So the trial's tomorrow then.
Is everything alright?
Oh, yes, I'm just a little confused is all. Yesterday's trial was, well, it's left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer.
Oh.
I don't know if I could face standing in that courtroom again after Mr. McGilded's trial.
Ah, yes, I nearly forgot. There is one similarity with yesterday's case.
His
Once
hair's not in a
again.
V, he just has like a point sticking out.
Yeah.
There is currently no one to advocate for the defense.
You guys really need to get some more defense lawyers here, guys.
In the greatest country in the
Oh,
If the situation remains unchanged, the trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented.
Can't go that low, right?
And if that happens, I need not remind you of the inevitable outcome.
A little less than. The most terrible end awaits them.
Yes, that's right.
ugh, here we go again.
Yes, that's
Yes, that's his voice. You strong heart.
You can still talk like this. Doesn't
Your time is up. You will have to excuse me. I would advise you to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking. There is now but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits.
Last time he mentioned the 23 hours, he said there was plenty of time.
And one more thing, Mr. Naruhodo. There is something I should like to ask you.
Oh, what's that?
Yesterday, you remarked upon something. That you intend to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asogi. I would be interested to hear what exactly you mean by that. Inside 34 seconds.
Oh, well, Kazuma always used to say, you see, that he wanted to learn how the greatest justice system in the world worked, so he could change ours in Japan. Now that he's gone, I'd like to work towards that myself. And there's another thing.
Oh,
Another thing? Continue.
On the way here, on the steamship, he said something to me. There's something very important. Oh, that's technically you.
There's something very important that I have to do.
I don't think that was his voice, but it's okay. He's dead.
Something very important, and what exactly would that be?
He never had the chance to tell me. I suppose he would have done if he ever made it to Great Britain. Oh,
You're out of time. Well, thank you for an enlightening discussion.
Mr. Naruhodo, what's all this about? Mr. Asogi never once mentioned anything of the sort to me.
I urge you both to focus your attentions on the matter at hand. I've taken the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case.
you're the inspector? Where's Herlock Sholmes?
He'll be able to apprise you of the details.
I guess Herlock Sholmes is a detective, not an inspector.
Yeah.
How long has he been there?
So I wish you the best of luck and bid you farewell.
We'll probably find Herlock Sholmes on the scene, working with the police,
Honestly.
with the Scotland Yard.
It'd be for the other opposing case.
Something very important that I have to do. Kazuma-sama, what do you mean?
I wish I knew, but honestly, he never told me. Anyway, we had better talk to the detective, don't you think?
Yes, you're right.
Alright, more talking. Alright, this is you again, Matt. I hope you're ready.
I'm doing this guy's voice?
Well, I mean, Lord Strongheart is already off the screen.
Strong.
I hope I'm just imagining it, but I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. What is he eating?
French fries?
That's what it looks like. Talk to me, man. Could we trouble you?
What do you think?
Ugh! Lovely weather, isn't it?
What's the weather got to do with anything?
Ugh!
Listen to me, you young Japanese
Oh,
upstart.
he's this guy. He's this kind of guy.
Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English gent eaten out of your hand, you know?
Ugh. But Sato-san told me it was foolproof.
I'm a busy man, a very busy man. There's a crime scene to investigate, but I'm here having to give the likes of you a talking to.
How does his
Oh, I'm ever so
potatoes
sorry.
just come back?
Just restock.
Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying, Haven't seen Gregson anywhere, have you? No, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days. And not because of some bumpkin who's here on a jaunt from a country I've never even heard of. Hear that ripping sound? That's my reputation at the yard going to tatters.
There's no need to rip us apart as well.
I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryunosu Naruhodo, a defense lawyer.
We nailed it.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, he's gonna be the guy that
Judicial assistant.
totally changes his attitude towards women.
Lovely weather we're having, isn't it?
Alright, here's the 180.
It is unseasonably fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine.
Unbelievable! How did she pull it off?
So, Lord Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard.
By the way, Yvonne, are you able to scoot in at all? Out of curiosity.
Not really.
That's just you're barely out of frame.
Oh.
You don't have to lean, it's fine. What's the matter with Susato-san? Does this detective's name mean something to her?
Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson?
Who's got no chin.
You're acting like you
He's
know
got all
this man,
chin.
Mr. Oh, that's you.
You're acting like you know this man, Mr. Sato, but he's a London detective.
Oh, I do know him very well, in fact.
Very well.
Yes, he features prominently in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, in that publication. What's it called again? Ranced Magazine?
That's right! Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry.
No, that's Moriarty. Come on, guys. Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible!
Well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course, but he does come up with the goods from time to time.
Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest something.
Praise.
Praise. Gregson is the pick of a bad lot of all the Scotland Yarders. Those were his own words.
That's his highest praise?
Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments.
That he is not, and thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now.
That's great, isn't it?
I have to admit that to start with, I was a little, well, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the yard went through the roof.
Well, that's wonderful.
No, it is not! There's nothing more sinister than the man on the street. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure.
Rumors?
Are you quite sure?
He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. The fame's gone through his head, stuff like that.
Gosh, you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you?
Like I said, they whisper, so I can't catch exactly what they're saying, but I know what folk are like. And I'm sure that's what they're saying, as sure as eggs is eggs. What does that even mean?
As sure as eggs are eggs, man. That'll probably be my title. I get the feeling this detective could be very hard work.
Oh dear, perhaps a sudden rise to fame does change people.
The case.
So, about the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before.
Nothing to tell you, Hilly. As far as we're concerned at the yard, it couldn't be simpler.
Oh dear, that probably means that as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated.
I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right.
A young woman was walking along the pavement on Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's still laid up in hospital unconscious.
I mean, she's gonna become conscious in the middle of the
Despicable.
trial.
What sort of coward would attack the poor woman from behind?
I suppose you would have finished whoever it was off with a suicidal takedown, would you?
That is neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo.
Brace yourself, Ryunosuke. You've angered her now.
Anyway, after something of a whirlwind of investigation, the criminal was arrested. He barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest.
So, there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit.
And he's making my french fries.
Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question?
Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one.
Sorry?
There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now.
Aldo. Welcome to the stream.
Que rollo,
Why
güey?
ever not?
Simple. The prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Baroque Van Six.
I've already whooped him once. I can do it again. I love this trio for the voice actors. It's the only trio for the voice actors. No!
Sounds like you've heard of him then.
Oh yes, we are very familiar with Lord Ben's.
We definitely do not need
Zeke's
4
or Zykes?
voices.
Colton, you can come over.
Zeeks. No.
Zekes.
Stay right where you are. I need more viewers.
I need more viewers.
Believed to be the harbinger?
Harbinger.
Harbinger
Of death.
of death. It's-
The Reaper of the Bailey.
Oh,
Lord Baron Van Zeeks,
5 voices, all of Till.
who we faced in court only yesterday.
Mr. McGilded told us about him before the trial, didn't he?
We're keeping this at 3. You know, maybe Ivana won't make it one of these times, and we'll have a special guest star feature.
I'm gonna voice act the cats. If you need more viewers, just wait until the Yay Rolling stream.
Yae.
The Yay Rolling stream. Is this me?
I don't know. When Van Zeek stack is for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. Oh, I think this is the inspector.
Una dagger. And in every single trial which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned.
This Reaper of the Bailey nickname. I suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates found against is found guilty. Is that it?
Well, if that's the case, I should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty.
This is Castlevania, the crossover.
All this, a lot of that. I mean, 2 of the prosecutors look like vampires, I'd say.
And what of it?
The original Manfred von Karma looks like a vampire.
Well, I think that means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant.
No, you really don't have a clue, do you?
What do you mean?
Shepherd fries in my mouth.
What happened to that bloke in the end, eh? He's dead!
Ah,
Magnus McGilded came a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. So you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, can you?
what are you saying?
Look, if Van Zeeks could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles. He works magic. Black magic. Oh, I'd have a good long think about that if I were you.
Are we really supposed to believe that? What did he say earlier? As sure as eggs is eggs?
Sure as eggs are eggs.
Is that what he said?
Eggs
Right.
is eggs.
Well, I've filled
Sure
you
as
in
eggs
as
is eggs.
requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips.
I'm gonna update
Ugh.
my YouTube real quick.
So I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations.
It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place?
That's what I said. That's correct, ma'am, and if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself. As sure as eggs is eggs. You've branded him a criminal.
You've branded him a criminal already?
He's as good as. He's as good as. He's as good.
He's as good as. He's saying
Shaking like a leaf in his cell, he is. It'll give you a chuckle if nothing else.
he's saying he's already as good as a criminal. He's basically
Yeah.
already a criminal.
He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you the way.
Inmate 53. Thank you. Alright. Time for some new scenery finally. So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say.
Is something troubling you, Mr. Hartman? To tell the truth, when I recall the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage, too.
But if the man they've arrested is innocent, you could well imagine he'd be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny.
So,
If I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself, and I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try, so I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help?
really think you had to ask? After all, I am your judicial assistant.
Thank you. So then, shall we?
Yes. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh,
Oh, we
Briar
can go
Road.
to the scene of the crime too. Where should we go first?
Prison.
To prison.
Let's go.
Straight to jail. Right to jail.
Right to jail.
I don't know.
Right
Right
to
to
jail.
jail.
Right to jail.
What is that from again? Oh, it's the
It's
video.
just some video. Right to jail. You undercooked fish, jail. Overcooked chicken, jail.
Yeah,
So these are the British prison cells.
right to jail. Oh, they're ghastly. Feels just like a dungeon.
Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself,
It is
I
lacking
can assure
dragons.
you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls.
Cold stone.
Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse.
It's also missing the dragons, you know? Apparently our client is in this cell here. But it's so dark at the back there, I can't make him out. I
Oh,
wonder what he's
can't
like.
see you.
He's the
It's
candle.
so dark.
Oh! Inmate 53, your legal representative is here to see you.
Man, you're really gonna test your
Stop
voice acting
hiding
limits
in the back
today.
of the cell and show your face at once.
Okay.
Am I?
Oh, you
Oh,
can,
oh.
okay.
Am I a cat? As yet to no name.
Where's Aldo? It's the cat.
Aldo, come over.
Calling me by my number? It's utterly unbelievable. Unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer.
I gotta get a look at this character
Yeah, I
to
wanna
see
see
what they
what he
sound
looks like first.
Yeah, I could.
I'll
Can't,
probably
can't put a
change his
voice on a character without
I
seeing
know.
them.
Mr. Naruhodo, what? What do you think is going on here?
I have no idea. But I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese!
Ma. Oh, fetch.
What the heck? Oh, what the heck? Excuse me, but who?
Shh, quiet. They're all around hiding. I know they are.
It's a conspiracy theorist.
They're watching, listening, even now. I can sense it.
His eyes bother me.
I
know,
know.
they look
No,
weird.
it's his eyebrow.
No, his eyes bother me.
Yeah, that.
His eyebrows weird. too.
Right, so what?
There
What?
you are. You've come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it. You're a
Other
ghost.
than his fingers.
A ghost?
Must. His bow tie and his must. We mean you no harm, prisoner son. Prisoner son. Japanese by any chance?
Oh, his
Oh, his
eyes
eyes are
are
good.
Wait, should we have Matt voice this? Because the bailiff's definitely gonna be gone.
Okay.
No,
No? Okay.
I'm doing Zeets.
Okay.
Get out of
It's fair.
Trying to think of how I do it.
You can take a moment.
This is
That's why- who's
the
that?
night where we standing
This-
out of one.
this is-
And I don't
This is beyond my wildest dreams.
Alright, you're stuck with it now.
beyond my wildest dreams.
Forgive me for that outburst before. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all.
Imagine it! It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown. And here I am in a frightful fix in a foreign land. So, hearing the sweet, sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice here in this damp, dark hellhole was a most
just dabbed.
monumental movement.
Just dab.
Who could have guessed that this new client Lord Strongheart assigned to us would turn out to be a fellow Japanese?
What compassion my fellow countrymen show. Dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student.
You're a student?
Noble, nurturing, never failing.
Sweet, sadistic. No.
A first-class lawyer? Oh dear, I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here.
Yeah.
I appreciate the voice
It
actors
feels
really
so-
getting the roles. Feels so immersive.
Yes.
I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what's happened?
This is our top voice actor here, obviously.
Why,
We're paying her.
why you've been detained as a suspect, for example?
Yes, I can, I will. Shan't stay sullen and silent.
Honestly, they have some quirky characters in this game.
I do. I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy.
Yes, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be.
Oh.
Thank you for your cooperation. I'm a lawyer. As you said, my name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
And I am Naruhodo-san's official assistant. Sato
Mikotoba.
I am
That is a rough
a
sentence.
visiting student sent here by our government. Notably, notoriously named Natsume. Soseki Natsume.
Alright. Let's talk to Natsume-san over here.
I guess I see what you mean right now. I probably should have listened.
Yeah, it's just because, like, we should probably just balance around who's based on the screen.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it
Go ahead,
doesn't
start.
matter.
I can voice him.
You can do whatever you want.
You can take over.
You want me to do it?
Sure.
Is this a voice?
Soseki Natsume-san.
More nasal.
And like,
What an unusual name.
Call me Soseki, please.
There we go.
I'm a poet, you see, a writer of haiku. It's something of a nom de plume.
A nom de plume? You mean an alias?
I like you.
That's right, Naruhodo-san.
No! Don't be so prosaic. It's much more refined than that.
Had to get more into it.
And haiku? That really reminds me of home.
Did I hear you say that you were a visiting student? Is that over here by the government?
Sorry, make it look like you're constipated.
Yes, that's right. A year ago, I was told to go and study English.
English.
First, I had to suffer that misery, and now this is beyond the pale.
Suffer that
Change.
misery. Did you not want to study here?
No, I'm not trying to.
No, I mean, I've had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course.
Oh,
But just because the government tells you to do something doesn't mean you can do it. No.
What do you mean?
If they told me to study English literature, that I could have understood. That's my field. No, they told me to study the English language.
Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly, unreasonable.
I see.
Only the other day I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tendered a blank piece of paper.
Wise words, whitewashing.
I think these are all haikus.
You must. Oh yeah, that's.
You must be a man. Oh,
You,
seriously.
you must be a man of great standing.
Yeah,
No, wait, there's no way. The syllables don't match up. There's too little.
just the 5 words.
Well, it's 575 for haiku, though.
Oh, is that me?
Oh yes, so I'm often told.
And often like to be told, it seems.
What do you do? I do nasally.
Like this.
Like this.
You can hold your nose.
Like that.
Alright, great.
Could you perhaps
That's not
tell
you.
us-
Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Soseki-san?
I didn't do it. I didn't commit the atrocious murder.
Murder?
Oh, no, it's all right. The woman didn't actually die, did she? But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes.
Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker?
I didn't see anyone.
What?
If I'd seen the person who did it, do you think I'd be locked up in here?
Oh dear. It seems this case is becoming rather complicated.
Why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed in front of me? It's the curse of London. It's
Incredibly, inexcusably, irritatingly inconvenient.
So Soseki-san was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker.
It's vital that we find out more about the case.
I was in a cursed evening just after this.
It was.
You said I, but yeah.
It was an accursed evening just after the snow had started to clear and heavy with fog. I'd been to the bookshop to buy some books, and I was on my way back to my accursed lodgings.
Sure, the bookshop wasn't a curse too.
As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat. She was thick, and just as I went to overtake her,
You put your paws in the wrong place.
She was.
She
thick.
was thick.
I was right.
The
she
first,
suddenly let out a little
the
scream
first picture of the girl was like this thin, like tall lady, and now what is this?
and collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet.
Hey, she really thick.
Well,
How terrible!
I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard.
slight exaggeration there, perhaps.
He's freaking out. He has freaking like PTSD.
PTSD.
I was terrified. I had to get away from there.
You know, I've just seen so many bodies.
So I
in this
ran
place.
as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodging.
I'm just an expert in seeing dead bodies at this point, you know? That's not good.
They'll say it was shameful, I know, to run away like that.
Tell me, Soseki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours?
Don't be ridiculous. You think I know any of these fair-haired English? And a young woman at that? So diffident, shy, timid, unsure? I can't talk to people.
I see. A young woman unknown to Soseki-san. And at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anybody pass you?
Regrettably, apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul.
No one. Oh, great.
So the victim was unknown to you. There was nobody else on the street at the time. That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it?
What conundrum?
That conundrum.
What do you mean, Susato-san? What's the conundrum?
Well, if what Soseki-san has just told us is true, there's something I can't explain. He says that he didn't know the victim, and that there was no one else at the scene. Then he apparently fled without having been seen.
I did!
But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit.
What did you just say?
Can everyone just read my mind in this game or what?
I know.
Nothing, I didn't say anything! Oops, perhaps I thought that a little loudly.
Actually, that's not what was troubling me.
Calm down, man!
What was I thinking? What I was
The music,
thinking
though.
was, how did Soseki-san actually come to be arrested?
Sorry?
He didn't touch the victim, and there was nobody at the scene to see him. So how did the police ever discover he was there in the first place?
Oh yes, she's right. About that, I turned myself in.
It was him! That accursed great detective! He led the police to me. Of all the bad luck,
A cursed great detective, could it be?
I shall never forget that man's name as long as I live. With his haughty laugh and self-proclaimed greatness. Brash, big-headed busybody, be gone! May you be cursed until the end of your days, Herlock Sholmes.
I knew it.
I knew it.
Mr. Sholmes?
Oh man.
Time for my favorite character to come back. Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure.
The hat.
No, that's only for those.
It was
One
the morning
moment.
after that nightmare had unfolded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on a silver of hard cheese when some men suddenly burst through the door. They started shouting at me, "This is the police, put the weapon down!" Yes, it was thin silver, and yes, it was hard.
Sliver.
Yes, it was a thin sliver, and yes, it was hard, but I wasn't eating a weapon. Disgusting dietary discrimination devils!
I was counting the syllables. You clearly had a trying morning yesterday.
And there he was, in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat.
The final boss is truly gonna be Herlock Sholmes.
That Herlock Sholmes.
It's actually just Herlock Sholmes. He's English.
I've since found out that he's a famous name in detection here in London.
Yes, the great detective is really very well known.
And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts, apparently. He thinks I'm the knife-wielding madman. Me, this weak, stooped kitten of a man.
I wonder what the great deduction process led him to his conclusion this time.
Do you mean to say Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable.
Well, the thing is, I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in.
Of course you were, that's only natural.
And then I proceeded to tackle them.
I was terrified and trembling, and they kept throwing question after question at me in impossible English. Fiendish, foreign flammery. Oh, flim-flammery.
Well, we are in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English.
Well, good point. But my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say. So I just kept repeating things like, yes, I do, and I'm fine. The next thing I knew, I was in manacles, and before I knew it, I was thrown in here.
Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising.
I'm fine? He's not fine now.
Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
Oh, you could just call me Naruhodo. And when we're speaking English, a simple mister is more than enough.
Oh, yes, all right. Yes, they've really got to me. This country's poisoning my mind. But please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you?
Well,
Why is it so hard to say yes to me?
Well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself on a study tour.
A student?
I have defended a case in the Old Bailey, only the one though. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to be believing. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means.
Oh, Naruhodo-san.
I'm not even the foreign student who was supposed to be here. I'm a sort of locum lawyer, I suppose.
But that armband, that's a mark of a defense lawyer from our great empire.
It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend.
A keepsake? Oh, I know exactly what they're saying about me.
Man, they got its eye twitched down too.
Oh, what do you mean?
The lawyers, all the British defense lawyers, they won't defend me.
Goodness. Why do you say that?
For the same reason you noted before when it happened. There was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit.
It must be very hard for you, Soseki-san.
And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them. Someone not to be trusted.
I'm just curious, do we have his profile yet? How old is this guy? 33! Old student.
He looks old.
I mean, he looks that age. I'm just surprised he's a student still.
I heard them openly laughing about me before, in my earshot without any compunction at all. Any trial for this man would be a waste of time, they said.
Lamau, just bail on this guy.
And of course the foreigner did it.
Yo, they racist.
They even had the gall to say the man doesn't understand half of what's being said anyway.
That's awful. Hey, if I'm not gonna stand up for the Asian, who is?
They're wrong. I've studied more English than half of the policemen out there on the streets. I've traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its greatest victory.
History.
But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me. No,
Sorry.
so at the very least, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue. You could do it, couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through.
Soseki-san, it's just that... Give me a little time, please. I'll do what I can, for the time being.
What do you mean?
We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it will give us a much better chance, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, thank you. I'll be here all alone, waiting for you, locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
We should be going then, Naruhodo-san. We have a case to prepare for.
It is the Meiji era. During that time, Japan was sending foreign students, intellectuals all around, to learn from the Western government as models to build their governments. Wow.
Holy crap.
So much history.
Shook.
Fun facts. Alright, let's get some evidence. Time for the scene of the crime.
My throat. Oh, I do so much.
So this is where it happened. Briar Road.
Ah! Look, Mr. Naruhodo. Look at that regulation metal helmet. It's unmistakable. The men of Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak.
It looks so like pasted together.
I know.
That is their job, you know.
But Mr. Naruhodo, to see one with my own eyes. They're often depicted in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, but I never dreamt that I've ever come this close. The real Bobby's helmet.
What? The helmet?
What the helmet?
Hee of course. I had to try one on one day.
I'm a finna stream and steal your... Oh, I'm a finna stream and steal your viewers. Okay. Do it. Do it, you won't.
Traitor.
You won't. Stream your cat cam.
Although doesn't stream anymore.
Well, I hope your heady dream does come true.
Ah, crap.
What's the Japanese delegation doing here?
Oh, Inspector Gregson.
This isn't on the tourist trail, as I'm fairly sure you're well aware.
Yes, of course. We're here to investigate.
So you've been to the holding cells then? What do you make of the criminal?
He's not a criminal, as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect.
We'll see about that. You Japanese like to stick together, I suppose. Well, do what you will. It doesn't bother me. That bloke's in court tomorrow, whatever happens, and the verdict's a foregone conclusion.
The stone cold air of rejection.
Take
Grade
heart.
slave.
London at this time of year is full of stone cold air.
That makes it worse somehow.
Oh my gosh, why am I only
Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector.
Here, you guys advance it on your own. I'll get you a water, Matt.
Thank you. I must sound like a smoker again.
Advance it.
Ow, spacebar.
Ever since I read about it in The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, I've been fascinated by the something.
The Yard is the most sophisticated policing organization you'll find anywhere in the world, ma'am.
Oh, and you know, I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet.
It does make them look the part, seeing that policeman there with his helmet on. You certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in his duty of protecting the city.
Oh, yes. Doesn't he look wonderful?
You've missed literally nothing.
Great. That's why I went now.
Being a London Bobby is hard going, I can tell you.
Oh, really?
I'm just joking. First thing in the morning, you know what he does?
Eat some potatoes.
Goes around and rouses all the labourers on his beat so they can get off to work.
What? He wakes people up?
Yep. Raps on their windows with a long pole. Did it myself going back a bit.
I had no idea.
The Bobby works for the people of the town. It's just another one of his duties. After that, he stops tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's the regulation distance.
I can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way.
Let me see. 20 miles. That's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama.
On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far.
When it gets dark, of course, he has the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps.
Oh my.
And I suppose in between all of those duties, Bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well?
And chase after criminals trying to evade the law.
I'm not sure you could call it in between exactly, more alongside, but yes. They're expected to handle those jobs as well. We do have men near keeling over from time to time, I admit.
I'd always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But it's with a heavy heart that I shall have to relinquish that dream to you, Mr. Hunt.
Your heavy heart will be in my heavy head if you do.
About the case. It happened at around 5 in the evening 2 days ago, just there on that open bit of pavement. The victim, a young woman, was stabbed with a blade from behind.
Is it right that the lady's still unconscious now? You mentioned that she's being treated in the hospital. In hospital.
I never said she was a lady. Truth is, unless she comes round pretty smartish, we won't be able to find out much about her at all.
I suppose that means they haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course.
Here's a map of the locale area I happen to have on me. You can take it if you want.
Really? Are you sure?
It's Yard policy to give lawyers defending suspects the odd bit of information to go on.
I haven't actually accepted the job yet, but still.
Thank you, Inspector. We gratefully accept.
Anyway, as far as we know, there's no one else on the scene other than the victim and your fellow countrymen. So who did it, do you think? Not much of a head scratcher, is it?
Well, I know Mr. Natsume is also claiming not to have seen anyone else around, but...
But just because he didn't see anyone, doesn't mean we can be sure that nobody else was present.
I'm sorry to have to tell you, but we most certainly can be sure, love.
How?
Because, ma'am, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed.
It what?
We
What
have
if he made
two
an attorney case otherwise?
very reliable witnesses.
Oh
no
yeah, I'm
less.
sure I won't have to prove that they're lying at all. And there's always two, I swear.
It was typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see them.
There were witnesses now? Who are these witnesses, Inspector?
A fellow and his wife, and the man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens in all of London. He's a couple from Scotland Yard.
Policeman? That might change things.
And this policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked?
Nothing peculiar about that, ma'am. Part and parcel of being a bobby, catching them bang and act and all that.
Do you think it might be possible for us to ask that policeman a few questions?
Well, that'd be my guess. You can ask him what you like in court tomorrow.
Oh, real funny, smart guy. Oh,
I've no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. So that'll give you something to look forward to.
that's that then. He's got no intention of letting us meet the man beforehand, it seems.
Policeman witnessed the incident. As your judicial assistant, I must warn you that this could make our job very difficult indeed.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too.
Have some butter.
Oh yes, one more thing, Inspector.
What?
The person who led you to the suspect. I hear that was Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
What are you trying to
Bring him up
for?
for... Was it something I said? The color has drained from his cheeks.
That Twitchy Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. Are you going to defend him or not?
Well,
Makes no difference to me. But I would just say this: no London lawyer worth his salt would touch that case with a barge pole.
because the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, you mean?
Huh. There's no way to save the man now. It's a waste of time trying. It is all a bit strange, though.
Sorry?
The Reaper, he hasn't appeared in court once for a good few years now.
Yes, we did hear something to that effect.
And the only people he usually bothers with are the real scum. The master criminals, the violent ones.
Master criminals?
The violent ones?
That's right, he handpicks his victims, only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins.
But Mr. Natsume wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely.
That's just my point, sunshine. Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but it didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there. So this isn't the sort of case I'll be expecting the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into. For want of a better phrase.
Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it?
Changed. Oh. No. There's got to be more to it. For some reason he's taken an interest.
Really? What sort of reason, Inspector?
You think I can tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness?
He's an edgelord.
You'll have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial.
Are we really going to have to face the Reaper again? The Lord of Darkness, as he put it.
Mr.
Airlock.
Who did you hear that name from?
Oh, well, it was Mr. Natsume who mentioned it. He said that Mr. Sholmes was with the police when they entered his lodgings.
I'm sure it was the result of one of Mr. Sholmes' inspirational great...
Fiddle faddle!
Ah!
The man's an amateur, and I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere.
Oh,
Oh.
I don't know where he gets his information from, but he turns up at the scene of the crime, wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish, and then he claims to have solved the case.
yes, he's quite astounding, isn't he?
I'm so falling asleep, I'm sorry. He is a great help to Scotland Yard, though, isn't he?
Here's
Oh my God,
Gibble
freaking-
gabble.
Ah!
Drink some water.
Okay.
Ever seen this before?
Oh,
Papas
yes, that's
fritas.
Rant's magazine.
The wonderful publication in which the adventures of Herlock Sholmes appears.
Yes, well, that wonderful publication, as you've put it, sees fit to include several of the Yard's detectives in its stories. And the so-called Great Detective makes a mockery of us all, of all us. If you ask anyone at the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Herlock Sholmes tale at all.
Well, I suppose there is an element of that.
We work our socks off, every one of us, only to be frumped by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. That man's as dangerous to us at Scotland Yard as he is to all our criminals.
That can't really be true, can it, Inspector?
Clearly, the great detective and the police have a complex relationship. Well, I don't think we're gonna get any more useful information out of the detective.
Mr. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion?
Oh, yes, what is it?
Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this.
By him, do you mean, Mr. Sholmes?
Oh, here
Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, exactly.
Look at those shining eyes. You can't wait, can you? Well, Mr. Natsume did blame Mr. Sholmes for all this, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He really did. Which makes him an involved party in the case. Are you just going to ignore that? I hope not. I assure you it's not simply my selfish desire to meet with Mr. Sholmes again.
The trouble is, we have no idea of the man's address, even...
It's Burger Street! Baker Street!
Burger Street.
How do you know that?
It's in the stories, of course. 221B Baker Street, the most famous address in the world.
Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. We'd better try and find our way there before Susato-san gets any more excited and unpredictable.
Hurrah! I'll summon a carriage.
So we're to have a reunion already with the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. All right. Sholmes is sweet.
Sweet.
Hey, you can finally rest your voice.
Oh,
cutscene.
it's a video. Cutscene. We're watching an anime now.
Oh, wow.
You can actually hear.
We've technically already heard him, right? Haven't we?
I was trying to refer to the character.
Thank you very much. It's just up there overlooking the street. Good day.
Good day.
Good day.
Thanks again.
Good day. It's just a sword,
This
no
is
big deal.
cool.
This is it. The residence of Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Ah, peace.
I wonder if there's Dr. John Watson. Or if they just
That's
turned
what I
it
thought that dude was there for until they said.
No. They might have just turned Watson into Iris
Him.
Wilson, the
Wilson?
pink-haired girl. I don't think so. I don't know. So this is where the Drake detective makes his living. It feels surreal to be here somehow. The classic violin,
Whoa,
And
we see it from the
steampunk.
back.
Yeah.
as it is as described in the story. Is it as described in the stories, Mr. Sato?
She
Susato-san?
got that undercut though. I think I heard.
Her voice. Many famous cases have been solved here in very room.
Oh, you can just describe it.
Oh, I suppose they must have been. Yes, yeah. I don't think my voice really matches Yunosuke.
Yeah.
I've never read the stories, so it's hard to get quite as excited about it as she seems to be.
The detective chases the villain relentlessly as he disappears in the fog down an unlit London street. Oh, the thrill of it, the romanticism. Can't you feel your heart thumping in your chest? Can't you, Mr. Bennett?
Oh, I suppose I can. Yeah, you know.
So, if you don't mind,
We're gonna steal his stuff.
I'll just stand here and soak up the atmosphere for a while longer.
Oh my gosh. I think there's like holes
Please,
in the wall.
don't mind me.
VR.
VR. He's part of. He's looking into the future. Ha! She's obsessed.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I guess it's time to explore. Well, it looks like our detective friend isn't home at present. Excuse me, is anybody home? Oh,
Is you right?
I mean, I don't think this is Herlock.
Oh, do we have a visitor?
This might be. Oh, it is Iris Wilson. All right.
Hello!
Is it a big meal case for Mr. Sholmes? Hello? Wait, aren't you... Oh, how rude of me! I'll go and make some tea at once.
You worked on your voice. It's better.
Great. I'm sure it's the same girl. Yeah, I think she's supposed to be who Dr. Watson is. Mr. Sato, did you see the girl who's just here?
Oh, yes. Isn't it truly extraordinary? To think that the King of Bohemia came to this very room to ask Mr. Sholmes to take on his case.
The King of Bohemia, where ya?
King Wilhelm Gottfried Sigismund, of course.
Of course! Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Forget the adventures of Herlock Sholmes for a moment and look over there. The tea's brewed, and I have a freshly baked cake as well.
That's supposed to be Wilson.
Ah, it's you!
Watson? I think so. I think they should replace the character. I knew it! Susato-san recognizes her too! Not like this! Flashback! Flashback!
Oh, shoot.
Flashback! Oh, she didn't pull it out. Oh, I missed that line. It's the girl who turned up at the end of Mr. McGill's trial to defend Sandy Chamber. I've never met a lawyer from the Far East before. Poor you, having to get straight to work when you're only just arrived in London.
Nice. I don't have to do any voice.
I know, right?
It's nice.
Oh, yes, it was challenging. Well, try this tea. It's my special blend, you know. Oh, thank you. Is tea supposed to look that color?
Oh my! What a fragrant yet mellow flavor.
Hooray! It's a winner! I tried blending different leaves designed to alleviate fatigue, you see. You must be exhausted after your long voyage here, and you have another ticklish trial tomorrow. Oh, and you're to defend a Japanese man. I do wish you lots and lots of luck.
Did Mr. Sholmes tell you about us by any chance?
Oh, you know Hurley, do you? Hurley? Mr. Sholmes to you, surely.
Mr. Sholmes was a fellow passenger on the boat that brought us to Great Britain, you see.
Was he really? Well, I had no idea. I'm afraid Hurley's out on an errand again today, even though he's just returned from overseas. Wait a minute. We met this girl for the first time ever yesterday after this trial, and only briefly at that. How on earth does she know so much about us? Did she deduce all those things, do you think?
No way. You're a real genius.
And perhaps more to the point, why is she here in Mr. Sholmes' suite?
Oh, silly me. I haven't introduced myself, have I? Little curtsy.
Iris.
It's a great pleasure to meet you both. My name is Iris Wilson. I live here together with Hurley.
So Wilson.
Oh, Watson is the doctor's name. I feel like that's who this character's supposed to be, though. Ah, Iris, is it? What a lovely name. What? What's the matter?
No, wait. This can't be. Did you say that your name is Wilson?
What's the matter with Susato-san? Why is she so flustered all of a sudden? Yes, that's right. And what are your names? Oh, I'm Yunosuke Naruhodo, a lawyer from Japan.
Oh, sorry. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotobo.
Mikotobo.
It's wonderful to meet you.
Lovely. Susie and Runo. Got it.
Susie?
And Runo? There's more to this girl than meets the eye. I have so many questions for her. I don't know where to start.
Yes, and so do I.
Everyone can just read my mind. Just like an open book. It was you that we ran into yesterday, wasn't it? At the Old Bailey? Yes, that's right. You were ever so helpful. Thank you so much.
Oh no, not at all. I'm so sorry we couldn't have been more welcoming.
Though at the time, we did have a rather large gun pointed at us. Like this?
Thinking back now, you left with Miss Lestrade in tow, didn't you?
Oh yes, that awkward witness, Gina Lestrade. Oh, Ginny? Yes, she's a professional pickpocket. So we found out. It was very naughty of her to pinch my invention like that. Are you referring to that trial-disrupting gun-like contraption? Exactly. So I followed her, you see, to get it back. Perhaps I should think about fitting a self-destruct mechanism in my inventions. This girl's dangerous. Anyway, I brought Ginny back here after that, so she could apologize to my trusty technician. Sorry, your technician?
Hurley.
Hurley, of course, silly.
Hurley?
Hurley.
Yes, Herlock. Herlock Sholmes. We live here together.
Wow.
I had no idea that the great detective had such a interesting young daughter.
Are you gonna be saying that?
Daughter? Not likely. What? Oh, the
Love her.
technician?
They love her.
What? Is he a lolicon? I wouldn't call him Hurley if he was my father, would I?
Well then, what is your relationship with Mr.
Go
Sholmes?
fetch you, jealous.
Alright, here we go. Well, I expect you found out that my lodgings of any kind in London are very expensive. So the solution is to share the cost with a partner, a roommate. Your roommates? Incredible, you know, unthinkable.
I hope you don't mind me asking, Iris, but how old are you?
Oh, here we go.
10 at last this year!
Oh my god.
Well, what of your mother and father?
Canceling.
Oh no,
Our shows with the 10-year-old canceling.
they're not around. Oh, I see. I wonder what the story is there. Hey, he could be her legal guardian, technically. Sounds like her parents might be dead. Or just away, who knows.
Oh yes, there's something I must ask you.
Of course. Go ahead, Susie.
I am a very great fan of the adventures of Herlock Sholmes and...
Oh, you have a copy of Rance magazine.
Yes, I read every issue. It's delivered all the way to Japan on a ship.
Oh, this is so exciting. My stories are being read on the other side of the world. My stories? That's right. Hurley is always solving such amazing cases, you see, and he tells me all about them. They really are quite fascinating. He does the exact same thing. It would be such a shame if I was the only one who ever heard them, don't you think?
Goodness.
Last night he was telling me all about a new case he just solved on a steamship traveling from a faraway land.
Oh my gosh.
So I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came. Herlock Sholmes solved everything in the case, and there's this foreign Japanese man who did nothing.
So you're the author?
Yes,
I'm getting Thunderfish vibes right now.
I'll let you in on a secret if you like. I'm going to call this latest adventure the Speckled Band.
Oh my god.
The Speckled Band. That's certainly very familiar. Of course, I always change 1 or 2 details in the stories here and there. This time, I had the idea of making a venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble. Oh, that was Mr. Sholmes' first thought as well, actually. Yes, and of course I know that a snake might not be a credible fit for the facts of the case exactly, but it's a story! Some poetic license is justified to make it more thrilling, I think, don't you?
So, do you mean to say? Are the stories about Mr. Sholmes that are published in Rance magazine...
Dang, Blackie Jesus has as many viewers as I do. Time to ramp up the exciting. I want to see some Class A acting! Oh gosh.
Oh, he actually started streaming.
I guess so. All written by me. Yes, on my wonderful and very modern typewriter. And by saying more viewers, I mean me.
But all the stories I've ever read are written by a doctor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson.
Yeah, they literally just changed. Oh, it's probably copyright. They couldn't
Yeah.
get Watson because it's Sherlock Holmes' IP, so they had to change it to Wilson.
Yeah.
So it's probably supposed to be Iris Watson, and then this is her pen name. But yeah, all right. Susato-san's getting more and more worked up. Do mods count as viewers?
No.
No, obviously not. Ah, yes, that's me. I have no viewers. All mods. I mean, my name really is Wilson.
But what about the doctor of medicine part?
That's all true too. I am a doctor of medicine. No, at 10 years old? At 10 years old. Well, that's quite incredible.
But, Dr. Wilson is an English gentleman.
This although does have more viewers than me. Ah, yes. I did alter the setting slightly for the stories to be more compelling.
Oh,
Well, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10-year-old girl in tow? Sounds a little more than strange. Sounds illegal.
Yeah.
I suppose it does, yes.
Poor Susato-san. She looks like her whole world has just fallen apart.
Your deductions.
About before. Yes? What's on your mind, Runo? Do tell me. How did you know that I was a lawyer and we just arrived in London, I mean?
Yes. Oh, and that we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How did you know all of that?
Oh, that's what you mean.
Please, tell us how you did it. Explain every detail.
Of course, I'd be delighted. Although there's really no mystery. Now, let's begin.
Oh, she's actually really good at that.
She's the real detective. Oh no, it's the exact same thing. Iris Wilson is proud to present her logic and reasoning spectacular. Oh
my
gosh, what happened to my background? First of all, I knew already that you were a lawyer, Runo. Honestly, she's probably the really smart one. Honestly, Sherlock Holmes is probably just dumb.
She's smart.
After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey in the defendant's antechamber.
She's writing novels.
True, and a doctor. But
And
you also
yeah,
said that we
and a
only
doctor.
just
That's the
arrived
part,
in
yeah.
London. How did you know that? I observed the passport and travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket. Oh. So I was reasonably confident that you must have only just arrived in the country. Why do you still have that? You've been here a whole day! And on top of that, you accepted a case against a particular prosecutor, telling me that you're unaware of London's court affairs. The Reaper of the Bailey? I walked right into that one, didn't I? Then I noticed a red ink
Oh,
snap
what the
on the
heck? That
back
just got put there.
of Susie's hand. I mean, we've never actually we have seen her hand, haven't we?
I haven't seen that on
The local prison, so we just got it.
Yeah.
it.
You were given that when you visited the local prison to meet with the suspect, weren't
She
you?
is the smart
Earlier
one.
today.
Ah!
They used those stamps to keep a close eye on comings and goings, you see?
I didn't realize.
And the red stamp is only used for people visiting foreign inmates. What? They have a stamp just for that? So that told me that even though you had only yesterday concluded the trial of Miss Dangus McGilded, the two of you had already had cause to visit a foreign inmate at a local prison. However, neither of you was wearing a particularly sad expression on your face, so I concluded that the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or a relative. That led me to believe that you must have accepted a new case. I see.
But how could you have known that the trial was tomorrow?
Well, having barely been home for a few hours yesterday, Hurley solved yet another case. It's obviously amused him. He told me that he caught a Japanese man who was bawling and trembling. A Japanese man? Well, that clearly must have been Mr. Natsume. Oh, that was your line, but it's okay.
Me?
No, that was hers.
Oh.
Oh.
Now, Bruno has that fancy Japanese sword. And I think your outfit is called a kimono, isn't it, Susie? Well, anyway, it was clear to me that you both come from Japan yourselves. So I put two and two together and decided you must be defending the Japanese man Hurley caught. And there's only one conclusion to those facts that... There's only one conclusion those facts could lead me to. You both came here to ask Hurley about the case. There's a note on the mantelpiece that says the man's trial will be tomorrow. Hurley is always stabbing his notes with a knife. You know, he is silly. And that's all there is. That's all there was to it, really. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions.
That was actually good. That's like her.
She is actually she actually didn't make mistakes, you know, unlike Sherlock. Well, was it a winner? Were my direct deductions correct? They were spot on.
That was amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction.
You even managed to discern something of Mr. Sholmes' delivery. She should just be the protagonist of the story,
I'll go to the bathroom
honestly.
real quick.
Oh well, I was just copying Hurley's style for that. Case
was
solved
actually
on the
dope.
spot.
No, like legit. No cap.
Alright, this is you now.
This is really very good news. You could tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man, you will, won't you, Iris? Please.
The case of the Japanese man. So yesterday, Mr. Sholmes apprehended a Japanese man. You were saying? Yes.
Oh.
Hurley had just arrived back in London after his sea voyage, but the police were waiting for him at the railway station to take him directly to the crime scene. Ah, the great detective is a popular man, it seems. Smooth. Apparently, a woman was stabbed on a quiet street somewhere in the town. There were witnesses who had seen a short, shifty-looking stoop man running away from the scene.
A short, shifty-looking, stooped man.
Mr. Natsume, beyond any doubt. Soseki-san said he didn't see anybody else on the street at all, but it seems there are witnesses after all. Hurley used his great detective powers to determine the man's address. It was a lodging room very nearby. He went directly there with the police. And what did they find? A short, shifty-looking stooped man, shivering in fear. Mr. Sholmes' great deduction certainly hit the mark that time.
Of course it did. He's a great detective.
Still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow is too soon for the trial, isn't it?
Definitely. We have no time to investigate properly.
Hurley says that London is rife with crime. Oh. Scotland Yard is doing its best, but they can't stay on top of it, apparently.
Oh dear. I hadn't realized the situation was so dire.
That's why they can't afford to spend too much time investigating cases and trying the criminals in court. Staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinned on the first suspicious person. Wow.
Wow. That's terrible. I suppose it's the harsh reality of the workings of the world's greatest justice system.
I suppose it is, but in that case, I don't hold out much hope for Soseki-san. Oh well.
Messed up.
He dead.
Oh, he dead.
Guess we'll just leave him. Thank you for answering so many of our questions, Iris. This has been very informative. Oh, you're most welcome. I've had so much fun. Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment? As you guessed, we'd like to ask him some questions about this case as well. Ah, well, I expect Hurley is still investigating the scene. Wait, I didn't see him there.
I know.
Of the case involving Mr. Natsume, you mean? Yes, Mr. Natsume? Hurley said he was going to the man's lodgings. Oh, I see. That's why. If you leave now, you'll probably catch him there.
Iris, do you know where these lodgings are?
Well, I imagine the police are still investigating the scene of the crime themselves, aren't they? Did you happen to come across a detective by the name of Gregson when you were here? Oh wait, this takes place during the Meiji era. Jack the Ripper.
How do you guys know so much about the
History of
Meiji era?
history? I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I'm shook.
Yes, we know Inspector Gregson. Oh, goody. In that case, get Grexy this from me, wouldn't you? If you do that, I'm sure he'll tell you what you want to know. What is this?
A 5-shilling piece and a postcard, it seems. It reads, "Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem." Gosh, this will make the inspector help us, will it?
Well, thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try.
So stupid.
Dude, 5 pence? It's a bribe.
I guess.
She's bribing him for us. Good luck then. I'm going to return to writing my manuscript, The Speckled Band. And I'll be making more special blends of tea, so come back again soon.
We'd be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, it's back to the scene of the crime. Oh, back to the scene of the crime.
So, somewhat dubious that they would exert any influence over the men of Scotland Yard at all. I mean, you have to go see Inspector Gregson again.
Yeah, okay.
'Cause that's where he was. We headed back to the scene with Iris's curious note, and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand. Did not know that. To be continued.
Oh my gosh.
An hour, 24 minutes in. Well,
How come some of them are like 3 hours and some are like 1 hour?
I mean, what do you, like the case?
No, like
The chap. I mean, it's just like where you can end the story, right?
I guess, yeah.
Not all stories are written evenly. All right, so what's our move from here? Ivana was falling asleep,
Yeah, we'll probably have to.
so it sounds like we're calling it here. Thank you all for watching.
This is about to turn into getting Avant-Garde level 30 in League stream.
No, it's not. But nonetheless,
Yes.
he's already level 30, so there's no need for that.
When did he hit level 30?
Oh my gosh, if only you watched my streams.
He did not hit. That was a troll stream. He didn't hit level 30 in that stream.
He is hit level 30 now, at the very least. If you watched all my Advent Guard streams, you would know.
Well, I
And
tapped out after you trolled
You
me.
you guys can watch it too if you go to my playlist on my channel. I actually unlist all my streams just so they don't muck up my feed. But
Oh, that would be a good new series. I like that point, Nam.
yeah, that's not happening because I can't even get to gold yet. So you're gonna have to find someone else for that series.
Getting that Cosmos to gold.
But yeah, but thanks for watching. This should be getting started back up. I'm gonna leave Ace Attorney in my feed just because it's like more unique of a stream. So if you want to go back and watch my other cases that I've done with Matt, feel free. And Ivana's there occasionally.
I've been there the whole time.
It's true. This series wouldn't have started without Matt, actually. But that's besides the point. We're going to go ahead and end the stream for now. Thanks for